What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be reviewing this piece here, a Strandberg Boden standard 8-string guitar. Got it a couple weeks ago. I fell in love with it. It's an awesome guitar. Mainly pros. I only have a couple cons with this thing, so let's just dive right in. So first off, we'll start with the specs here. So it's a bolt-on neck, basswood body, maple veneer cap. Not like a top wood, like a thick top wood, like normal guitars. Roasted maple neck, 5-way pickup selector switch, and Strandberg designed pickups. Alright, and we'll kick it off with some pros of this guitar. This is my first Strandberg, so it's my first experience with the Endure neck. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Try to get like a glare maybe, I don't know if that'll help. But essentially, it's like this flat bit of the neck that kind of is supposed to follow your thumb. As your thumb, as your hand goes up the fretboard, your thumb kind of naturally comes downward, and this is to help facilitate that movement and make it a little more comfortable, which I find helps a ton. And it's nice, and some people say it might be a little too thick. I actually really like the chunkiness down low when I can even wrap my thumb around it when I'm playing some stuff down there, and it feels really nice. It's probably not the intended purpose, but it's cool. The fan is pretty slight given the extended range guitar. It's on the top strings, it's a 26 1/4, and on the bottom it goes all the way up to a 28-inch scaling, which is just to really help get a really strong foundation and a note that doesn't really, if you hit it hard, it won't kind of bend, like start sharp and kind of settle to the pitch and then go flat. You can like hit a note or like play a chord and it'll ring and intonate in tune pretty much indefinitely, as opposed to say a regular scale guitar where, especially an extended range, like say 25.5-inch scale, where the 7th string and possibly even an 8th string are, you know, they're tuned to B and B and F sharp respectively, and they need to be able to reproduce that strong low end with such a small scale length, which is, I mean, it's essentially a bass guitar at that point, and the scale on those, as you know, is much larger because it's a bigger guitar by virtue. So it just makes sense to try to facilitate that longer, the better intonation with the longer scale. So yeah, that's sweet on this guitar. It sounds acoustically, it's very loud, and it feels really good in your like core and in your hands when you're playing chords and stuff. It's like you feel like resonating with you. It's a really cool feeling. It's just overall a really comfy guitar. I know you see me sitting with it in this classical position right now, but you can literally rest it any way you like, and it's just a joy. It's so easy. Like even here, I would never, you know, with any other type of guitar, like think to play it over here, but it's actually kind of comfy over here. I'll have to maybe start messing with that for maybe solos and stuff. But yeah. So, I mean, aside from all of that, this is an awesome guitar. I love it to pieces. There's only a couple of cons I have. And we'll start with, in my opinion, the biggest one, which is the pickups. And it's not even really a con. It's more so just like a taste thing. These pickups are, dare I say, a little muddy when they're not tapped. And when they're tapped, they're extremely noisy, and the which I mean I know is a trait of single coils, but I have a Carvin 7-string that has all types of split coil sounds and parallel sounds, and it's just not as noisy for whatever reason. Also, the output when they're split drops quite a bit. I mean, these are low output pickups kind of as it is. They're a lot lower than any other pickup I've ever plugged in. I'd have to adjust my input levels for using plugins to get it to you know, break up where the amp normally would with a normal guitar or a regular guitar. But yeah, I mean, other than that, the pickups aren't awful. I can get the sounds I want typically. The only other con I really have that's maybe a little more not serious, but just kind of annoying. I got this guitar maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and it has a 0 fret, which is essentially just a fret to kind of make it so you can have the action a little lower starting off, as opposed to just having the nut to be the deciding factor in that. And essentially what had happened was at some point, or I don't know how, but a couple of these thinner, higher strings have actually started to dig into the 0 nut, and I'll feel when I'm bending it'll click. I don't know if you can hear that actually. That click. And it happens on pretty much all the unwound strings, which is kind of I mean, I know I believe on their forums or on a Q&A they have on Strandberg's website, this is actually kind of a common issue. I just wasn't expecting it so soon into ownership of this guitar. And it's a pretty easy fix. You just kind of sand it down and polish it up, and you're good to go. But just not something I expected to have to do at some point. A lot of people don't really mind it. I'm like OCD about little things like that, and it'll eventually... I mean, if I can't hear it in the plug-in, it won't be a big deal, but just something to be aware of if, you know, it happens to you. So yeah, other than that, this guitar is amazing. I love it to pieces, and money well spent in my book. Oh yeah, also forgot to mention, the body is not chambered. That is another differentiation between the standards and I believe they're called the originals, Strandbergs. The originals and pretty much every other model has a chambered body. The standards do not. They have a solid body. Like I said, this is the first Strandberg I've owned and played. Therefore, I don't really have any really good comparison to what the other ones sound like, the chambered models. So, I mean, I'm assuming it wouldn't be a whole lot different, especially with distorted sounds. But, I mean, I could be wrong. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching the video. I hope it was informal and insightful. And I hope it convinced you to pick up one of these things. They're really cheap for what they are. You get a lot of guitar for the money. And I think it's just probably, if you're going to go multi-scale, extended range, band fret, you know, the whole deal, this is probably the most user-friendly way to get into the game. Even just get yourself a 6-string or a 7-string, you know, if you're not really super comfortable to make the full commitment to the change. I've played 8-string before, so it's not a really big deal to me. I compose on 8-string. My band has songs that I wrote with an 8-string, and at the time, and I sold it because it wasn't really a great guitar, and I've always been looking for another one to kind of fill the void, just in case we wanted to play these songs live. So this is like kind of the workhorse for me now, and this is probably going to be the only guitar I play for a while because it's amazing. So yeah, thank you so much. Peace out.